Good morning, my brothers and sisters. It is June the 23rd, 2020. It's the 101st day of the quarantine. We're going to read a passage from Matthew chapter 10 today, verses 26 through 33. And as you maybe turn to there, one of the exercises I like to do is, what don't I like about the Bible? I thought of calling this podcast, I Don't Like the Bible. So here's the things I don't like about this passage. I'm going to tell you the things I don't like before we read it. I don't like that there's a hell. I don't like that there's a possibility of denying the Lord. I don't like that there's persecutions. There's people mentioned that can kill the body. I don't like that there's a misvaluing, that people are walking around, or I might be walking around with the wrong price tag on. I don't like that everything's going to be revealed in the end. There's a few things I'd like to keep secret, and so would you. I don't like that something is required of me in this passage to be faithful and to be a good witness. And I don't like the fact that that fear is in play. So here we go. Actually, the title of the passage in my Bible section is Have No Fear. Here it is, Matthew 10:26. So have no fear of them. For nothing is covered that will not be revealed, or hidden that will not be known. What I tell you in the dark, say in the light, and what you hear whispered, proclaim on the housetops. And do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather, fear him who can destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny, and not one of them will fall to the ground apart from your Father? But even the hairs of your head are numbered. Fear not, therefore. You are of more value than many sparrows. So everyone who acknowledges me before men, I also will acknowledge before my Father who is in heaven. But whoever denies me before men, I also will deny before my Father who is in heaven. May the Lord give to us wisdom in hearing his word. Okay, so first thing I want to mention is, what is the way that God speaks? Verse 27, what I tell you in the dark, say in the light, and what you hear whispered, proclaim on the housetops. I think the way that God speaks is very solidly described here. He tells us stuff in the dark. I think that's both true figuratively as well as literally. It's hard times sometimes that cause us to fall on our knees and reconsider maybe a sickness or an injury, or a relational difficulty, or the fallenness of the world, that we wrestle harder with God. And then he speaks to us. So in those times, I don't know if you've ever heard a preacher preach when they were in some sort of trouble and wrestling with the Lord. Generally, the sermons are incredibly wonderful and rich, because the Lord is telling him things in that dark time. And what you hear whispered, proclaim on the housetops. A lot of times I think the voice of the Lord is a quiet one. So a time with the Lord, a devotional time such as this in the mornings for many people, some people call these quiet times. Oh, I'm going to go have my quiet time. And in the sense that's true, is you do want to be able to quiet oneself and learn to listen. But my snarky line is, if you're having a quiet time, you're doing it wrong. Why is that? Because there's supposed to be a conversation. It's not supposed to be a quiet thing. You are supposed to be hearing and conversing and challenging and listening The Lord is telling you something here. You're supposed to be hearing something from the Lord. Now, there are whispers. I agree with that. So you have to listen carefully. But if you're having a quiet time, you're doing it wrong. So we need to be listening in the dark. And then when the Lord tells us something, we need to embrace the conviction that He gives us. So then there's some bad news in the passage, that there are apparently people who are out to get you, that are opposing you, and even have the power to kill the body. But then he says, look, keep the main thing here. They can't kill the soul. I'm the one that can kill body and the soul, and I've created a place for this. We talked about the demons going to be stuck in this place forever, and in a sense, having a hell is actually a good thing. We want a universe that the Lord has made for hell. We don't want to be around these nasty creatures forever. We want them taken care of once and for all. And but then there's apparently a judgment here, which obviously is very sobering. So as we conclude today, we'll come back to this tomorrow about how valuable one might be. Know that the Lord whispers, and know that the Lord tells, and the Lord speaks. And we talked about this primarily being through the Word, as we gave a tip of the hat to William Tyndale yesterday, because it's His Word that generally is the vehicle that He whispers to us in our non-quiet times, and that He tells us things in the dark, and then we have to be faithful witnesses in bringing into the light. So my brothers and sisters, let's listen carefully. Let's listen to the whispers and listen to the words the Lord has, especially in the dark of the morning, and maybe the dark times as well. It is the way that God speaks. Amen.